It happens to us in terms of self-defense. As far as the hand touches the face, I already have to control the elbow above the elbow bone, the triceps, change my level to enter the legs. When we're in outside arm control and we're looking for the first technique we've done, instead of going for a pullback, okay, the pull, we're going to go get a pull when I don't notice where his arm is because he may be putting his hand in his pocket. I'm here. I don't write down my arm. I'm going to check the two quickly, okay? If my arm is in contact with my body, okay, he can be on my elbow or on my wrist. It would be the smartest thing to do, okay? Of course, it's that this control, for this control is very good because there he can't do it to you either, and there he already has a knee and you already put in. I think yes, we have the hand here. That's when I have it. Tell me. Bravo. If I have it straight, I'm afraid he'll do that to me. Of course. Or not that, or that's the no, that's great. I mean, it's a very good question. In fact, here I don't just work on it, but for self-defense, I think it's an incredible option. Hand, I can't get close. Here, what I do is I always put my hips in and raise my shoulder. Okay. Here, even this control, because here you can't put the pressure. Okay. I have it very well tucked into my hips. If I move away, as you say, pal, I would be controlled, and that would be perfect because then it can't be correct. Or if it is very high, it is not worth nailing it. Okay? Control, of course, to lift. Very important that my hip is down. Okay? Always 2 hands below the ass. Floor very forward. Hips. Hit. For the self-defense, okay? Because in the end, I search, I train self-defense. I like to apply the techniques then to situations. Then we're going to start warming up, which I already saw scared, but we're going to control arm from neck control, okay? When he seeks to control the neck in sports mode, I always have to use the opposite hand. The closer the wrist, the better, because I'm going to have more control, more grip, okay? And the other arm is important that it always stays down. When we put the gesture in, it's like a crochet without putting our hand in. Okay? The arm stays down, we release a grip, and the hand below wraps us up. I always want to have my shoulder over his shoulder, okay? To exert pressure. And from here, you have control. You can move him. Okay? So let's first look for the grip to introduce the control from head arm control or wrist control, okay? Anyway, here I always have to put a stop. We have to break the grip on the side that he has thumb and fingers, which is where there's the opening, okay? If I try to open to the outside and he's hard, I'm never going to be able to open. I have to always break inside, okay? I break it, I control it. Does the grip break? Now, and that hand sneaks in from below, there it is. If the hand goes, he takes us. Back, he's going to take your hand out and it's already on our back, okay? So, though there's always good over-the-shoulder control here, that could be the case too, okay? No, not to last your thumb, right? Nothing happens. I like it better here because I have much more control, but here, same, my body's stuck all the time. And that's it. They've left her. She leaves her neck, okay? From here, I look for the opposite hand. I put the basket in, and here, I always shoulder over my shoulder, okay? And I have to somehow stick out a little chest to exert the pressure, like a little blazer in the air, okay? So that the arm is uncomfortable, and always the shoulder above the shoulder, very important, okay? For example, now, he grabs me from here. Okay, you did it. Now I would be there, but with my right, always with the opposite, that is. And the one of the same profile is the one with which he is grabbing you. You have to use it underneath, putting your shoulder, putting pressure. This, you have to twist it over there a little bit, that is. That's perfect. And the shoulder over, shoulder. And now with the left, I mean, grab the right attached here, I understand, right? Exactly, the right is operating and the left is on top. Okay, a way to introduce us to an external arm control, okay? A control in which I have control over it, so that my 2 hands are grasping only one arm. If we're going to start by focusing on self-defense, okay? Above all, I want you to keep the details of me having control of the arm. That if the teammate at any given moment can say it, he can say it. That he should stick his arm out with all his strength, okay? I had control of his arm and he couldn't remove it. At the moment that she is in self-defense, here it seems that the face is very exposed to blows, although they are not power blows because he does not have the entire path of the hip, but, well, there are blows. And obviously here he can reach me with his free hand and he can hit me. There can also be a head. That's why it's very important, as long as we're very close. The moment there begins to be hitting focused on self-defense, we're going to stick our heads out on the side, okay? We're going to change the head of the one from his inner profile outwards, and I'm going to stick shoulder to shoulder, okay? I continue to control his wrist. We don't lose our wrist at any time, okay? Very important. I'm here with this control. I see it start to hit. Annie, I hit shoulder to shoulder, okay? From here, the first thing we're going to look for as I get to this position, if I don't feel his hand on my body, usually, if he wants to break the grip, I'm going to feel his hand or on my wrist or on my elbow or on my shoulder. I know where the hand is, but if I'm not noticing his hand, it means that I may be looking for a pocket or putting it somewhere. I have no control of his arm, so I don't like it. I want to feel where their hands are at all times, that they're not looking for something in their pocket. We get to this position, and we don't notice the hand, okay? It can be in your pocket. What I'm going to look for is a small imbalance. Pull it towards me. The hand that was by the shoulder, above the shoulder, the hand goes to the elbow bone and opens a little hole here in its armpit to put the opposite hand in. The one that was on the wrist goes up. And now to take the back, we have to make a 180-degree hip pivot. Okay? I really like that detail to take the back because, like everything, I learned based on failure, and 1,000 times it has happened to me to go to take the back. They go away, they go away, they go away. This usually happens to us many times. We want to take the back. We do not take the angle well. We look for the back, and they go away from us all the time. However, it's much easier than to grab your back. When you're going to do the arm pull, do a hip pivot, okay? 180 degrees. My feet are facing over there. I change the profile 180 degrees. I control. He starts to hit. We save a little. Now stick shoulder to shoulder. That's okay. And now this hand brings down the little elbow bone, and this hand can be done there. Oh, and now look at the hips. That's great. Here it does come. The dream. Great. Okay. And then the drag, we change this pull here. Yes. Already at the hip. Perfect. That's it. It's perfect. The only thing when we get to this side, okay, when I change my head, I don't let go of this hand because if I get in here, I won't be able to pull it anymore because it is already in control. So all the time here, okay, there. Try to get your arm out of there. Okay. Very close. I take advantage of my whole body. And now from here, what I do is pull a little. Do you see the hole that is generated? Yes. A bad thing is going to happen through that little hole. Okay. But here it is. Very important that I put my hips in a little so that he cannot get out of there. Try to stick your arm out the side of there, right? There. And here already. Yes. Look, that's it. Okay. Now the head is on this side. What's going on? That here, self-defense can hit him. Okay. Then switch, rotate the hip and stick the head out and shoulder to shoulder, but still with wrist control. This hand is still down. Don't let go of your wrist there. Okay. Okay. Now this hand pulls the arm towards you and sometimes it gets up here and now, but don't let that hand come out that way. Okay. That's it. What? Now pivot the hip. That is, look for this hip to hit yours. Pivot the hip. That's it. There, I tell you, very important is control. When we have control of the wrist, we pivot. But I continue with the control, okay? Because if not, he's going to look for the underhood, okay? And once the racket is in it, it is very difficult for him to make a pull because he already has a control here, so I don't know him here. If he gets to this arm control from the inside, okay? One shovel, I can't take control anymore. Very important that I don't let go. I don't let go of my wrist at any time, okay? When I let go of it for a second to put it in here, I put pressure with my hip and my pipe, and I don't let him take his arm out. He tries to stick out his arm there. I hang on it almost. If I already pivot my hip here, very close head, and to knock down, we have to hang today. We imagine that we are a monkey on a vine. I hang on it directly to the side where I hold my arm. Change the profile, shoulder to shoulder. But no, don't take that hand out there because if not, then you can't take the back, okay? That hand, let it then control. I had this one here. Look, important, okay? We're here. If I change and take my hand out, she's going to get to a checkpoint and I can't go through my back here, okay? Because he already has me blocked. So it is very important that when I change, I put shoulder to shoulder and this hand does not let go. I can't let it stay there, here. And then I make the change to reach the back. That's right. Okay. Okay. Now this hand goes up, this, okay, on top of the other. Okay. And now I take the skirts. Okay. We change the shoulder to go from this one from here to here and a heel. That's it. When I'm at arm control, okay, to avoid the hit, what we have said, we pivot, and I look shoulder to shoulder and look to the opposite side to the one he is looking at. But I am still in control, okay? Very important that I continue with this wrist control, because if I lose the wrist, he will reach a control position, okay? An arm inside, a shovel, underhood, and then we won't be able to take the back. So very important that from here, we put pressure on, I look for that side, and I don't let go of the wrist, okay? From here, hand for hand, I control back. And very importantly here, you have several options, okay? From the back, you can close. If I have made the pull with the intention of controlling the two arms, because the other hand can be in the pocket, okay? I pull and quickly control the two arms by the height of the elbows, okay? Try to get your arms out, Alex, okay? So you can't take anything out of your pocket. Here, already being very close together, we can take him, okay? Another way, the sportiest way to do the back pass is to do the pass. And I like to keep the arm and hip because here we have very good control to then bring to the ground. If someone knows how to fight, when we let go of our arm to close ourselves, they will go looking for our hands so that I don't close. And he's lost control, okay? And he recovers position. So keep these two details. Self-defense, if the hand has the pocket, grab the elbows, close my elbows very well to my body, and ask the partner to try to pull them out hard. Okay? There, don't let it go out. So no, on a sporting level, he controls his back. Ale, he stays up, he doesn't want to go to the ground, but I'm left with his hip arm. I don't need to close him. From here, I hang on it and take it to the floor. I ask the partner not to let me stay upstairs, not to want to go to the floor, and I hang on it. We always put our foot out to put pressure on it, okay? If I fall with both knees and he puts a lot of pressure on me, he can end up on top of me. So always at the last moment when we fall to the ground, I take out my base point to exert pressure, okay? Here to finish it, you can put a little pressure on him when he returns it to me and pushes it. The hand looks for the knee and this, and the hand of the saucepan looks for the hip bone, okay? That's right. That's the very important arm always at the bottom. Perfect. Okay, stick your arm to your body. That's right. The arm has to be totally attached to your body, okay? So you can't take it outside. Now, in the ranch, that is. And hip pivot and hip to hip, that is. Outside, here, there. And now you make room, but don't take it with you. Open up a little, okay? When you wear it. Silvel or something. Yes. How much? You could transition Silvel there to whatever you want. But I like it when I'm at fullback, okay? Instead of blocking and taking it with me, what happens? That, here at the end, I have him on top of me, okay? I want to always be on top, especially focused on self-defense, so that I can then lift control of the periphery. So I always block here, and instead of me leaving, I make a small void. What do I say? And here I can control there, I can control there. I keep putting pressure, okay? There you can transition whatever you want. How did you throw her on the ground to do what happened to her in the area? Well, down here, right? We've come down. Okay, that's it. We have it strange. Okay. From there, very important, is you have you above all close in the middle of his arms and hit the games. And as if you were making this gesture. Okay, there. Okay, there. He tries to get them out hard. Okay, it's very complicated because we don't have the strength to open here. There, for example, you can put a block with your foot on his ankle. And as you have him so controlled that he has no points of support, you can throw yourself and then correct yourself. That's it. Wait a minute. We're here, okay? You've got me hooked. Be careful because it has no point of support. What for? Do not eat the soil. So from here, for example, we put a cap, okay? And I sit down little by little. I take him sideways. And now look at my legs, okay? And I'm still in control.
You've pulled.
Yes, when I've already shot, the head has to always be glued by the elbow issue, okay? Well, if we are separated here, the elbow cannot fall on this side, for example, which is always closed. Now, what am I going to do? I'll put pressure. I'll put pressure on you. If you don't counteract the pressure, I'll take you. Now, when you put the pressure back on me, and we can transition here, control an elbow, control the hands, especially that the hands do not reach the pockets, and always have weight on me. Okay, good. And then you can put in the transition you want. Well, you can, with that turn,
Yes.
yes, 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 always. Because here, if I see that there is a blow or whatever, I shoot. Okay? And here, you by far, I take your arm, you come with me. Yes, well, I can do it. Of course, the same. You, but having good control, if you go the other way, what? I have the shovels, the Fari. Okay? Call it a Fari. Speaking.
How do you see?
Yes, if you don't turn your back on me, okay? If you're here, looking to be in front of me, I'll shoot. Okay? Sporty, it's also okay, okay? In a sporting way, what is the way he has to break the grip? Especially the wrist, which is the one I have under control. I always grabbed him. You've done it 1,000 times. Kyu Kenbo's self-defense. The grip always has to come out on the side that's open, okay? On the side where there's a hole in the hand. If he has me here very tightly, I'm not going to be able to open it out, okay? Because his whole hand is closed. I have to always open by putting a stop in inwards. So, his way of breaking my grip is to control my wrist and break the arm inwards. On top of that, here we would be more the situation because he reaches a position of control, okay? He already reaches the body with his arm under mine. So, way to prevent him from breaking our grip many times when we're here, he controls our hand and he's going to break. Before he's going to break, I stick his arm to his gut and push, okay? Why? Because here he has the hole, there he breaks. If I put my hand to his body, he can't go out there, okay? The pressure is already on him, so it comes out, it's going to break. I put pressure. I'm already taking advantage of this moment to roll up the hand I have inside, roll it up, okay? We look at the time, remembering the detail, and seeing the time, I put it under, and now I see the palm, okay? I look at the time, tangle it, and look at my palm. And now from this control, okay, he's noticing he's got the radio against his radio. It's very uncomfortable. I can stick my head out in case of a hit, or I can stay here glued together, okay? It doesn't matter. The important thing is that the one here no longer moves. It helps us to move him. He will follow us wherever we go, okay? We want to bring it to the ground. We can bring it under control little by little, putting pressure, pressure, pressure there to control. Or if it's very hard up top, what? What I do is take advantage of gravity. Instead of pulling force with my abdomen, with my body down, what I do is shrink my legs and let gravity do the work. Okay? The last option, if we're resisting a lot, it gets very top. I just take a step forward and shrink my legs. Okay? Finally, we repeat everything. We take control. The hand looks for us to break. I change direction. Instead of sticking his arm towards me, I push his wrist towards his chest and push my way. I look at the time, I look at the palm, and from here, I control it. Okay? Slowly, get a little hard. Okay? There. Okay? Well, paid to the ground. You already have many transitions here. Ale that my Jisoo teacher can say 1,000, but, well, back. We get started. I like this control very much for self-defense, putting my chest in, because I have the two axes controlled. If it tries to turn towards me, I control this one. If it tries to turn over there, I control the other elbow, okay? And he cannot look for pockets. We were the questions that I'm like that. No? And I told you that I was going to ask you, because I wasn't always going to ask you. Here I always notice that I have control, especially because I can stick to him, and if my elbow and my body are stuck to him, it is very difficult for him to put this pressure. Of course, if I'm separated to him, it's going to cost you less, and then you would have to. I thought that when you're here, I would also have you do this work than when you're here. Of course, it's that this control for this control is very good because there it can't do it to you either. And there you already have a knee and you already put it. Of course. No, no, no. That's great. I mean, it's a very good question. In fact, here I don't just work on it, but for self-defense, I think it's an incredible option. I can't get close by hand. Here, what I do is I always put my hips in and raise my shoulder, okay? Here, even this control, because here you can't put the pressure, okay? I have it very well tucked into my hips. If I move away, as you say, pal, I would be controlled, and that would be perfect because then it can't, it's right, yes. But I can use the one of here. But I think it's great, especially for what you say, because from here you already have a shot. You can move it, you can control your head, your arms. Here, I really like to put a lot of hips. If he looks for me, if he puts the wizard in and I have my hand there, what I always look for is I separate a moment and stick to him a lot. And now I change the hand. I can do it now. Reset. And here, notice a little pull. Yes, yes, he is very tight. To hit it, it would be better to have it up, right? To hit him better up front. What? I think that perfect that we have worked on before I think of face when I take the back to change the grip. It's very far forward, elegant. Yes, that's perfect. I love Pau there. He's working on that more, isn't he? Yes, yes, yes. I love it. For me, above all, in the back, what I like is to work very expensively. Okay? When I catch, did the feet weave toes or not? No, I like to work more inside it. Yes, more closed. Is it better glued than separated? For me, yes. For me, I mean, in the end, each one has its, but to me, it does. Because here it is true that if there is control grip in the hip stops, I am already very extended. So I don't have it anymore. I already hold on, but it's very easy to grab. However, if my are closer to my hip, okay, you can lift him up, of course. Easier to lift. Come on, okay? When we have outer arm control, generally what I want you to look for with the partner is also to give him a good portion, okay? Don't stay so lateral, okay? What that is for. Then we're going to work at the end, of course, the leg attacker, okay? If they're too lateral when we have our arm, okay? Work and switch from arm to leg, okay? Now he's going to look a little more in front of me. Always the head's at the same level. What's going on? He's going to get his hand to his wrist, okay? Many times, maybe he is very strong, and instead of trying to put his hand to the wrist and break, what he seeks is to control simply with the arm locked. What's going on? That it's going to be very difficult for me to stick my arm to his body there. If he's got his arms locked, see, I will no longer be able to put my arm in his body. What he's doing is controlling and blocking the position rather than trying to break, okay? If we get to that, in this situation, the one that he controls my wrist very strongly, that grip that is strong, that is going to make it real, okay? What am I going to look for here? I'm going to get this grip, okay? That's what I want to hold on tight, okay? That I really want to control because what I'm going to look for is a gap. I'm going to lower my level and I'm going to sneak through the gap to control my back, okay? I'm here putting a little pressure on the control, okay? Then I'm going to look for the weight that he's putting on me to disappear into the gap and control the back. A straight back is always very important, okay? Especially when we go to these controls. Why? Because if I go to look for the back, I talk, I get in, there you have a chance of guillotine. It destabilizes me. It knocks me down. We repeat, we're here. It controls, but now it blocks the arm. I can no longer throw it against it. I'm placing my little head here a little bit, okay? I'm already peeking out. Oh, I push. It controls me hard. And very importantly, when I open, this hand also acts, okay? I charge him a little. I charge him on top of him. Oh, control. Oh, okay. Here, okay. Here, options. We can directly from there go to the back. If he is too low, another detail. If he is too low, we can either destabilize him to go up or dig the knee. Okay. Another option when we sneak in, reach the back, and instead of lifting, we pass to the back. There. Okay? We change the grip to a side. We make a scissors with the legs. Always very close there, okay? Let's try those options. One more? Yes, one more. That's how I see it. We control. Control my hand, change of level, always very close. The head is very important to be active here, okay? Let him look up. If I stay here, he's going to come back with his arm on the other side. He'll be able to see in front of his face, okay? I push it here. I push it with my head. I carry my back. I grab it to the side, okay? Here we can do the basic one, which would be to lock the ankle and then go up. I prefer to turn, rotate my legs to make a scissors. The head always behind his arm so that he doesn't come back. Try to come back with his hand. There, there. See? Look there, look inside. Good. And glued so that there is no gap. This hand you can already close. And now that is parity, right? Okay, now he totally passes his back, okay? And you close your hands, okay? You can close here if you want. And now, but here on this right now, if you struggle with this, it's okay. Put the stop, and it's worth it. That's it. Okay, look, stick with this grip better. The other hand up. What is it going to be, crisis? That you put a position a little bit standing there, okay? That's control. There, put to be down. More clear if you were very low as you were, okay? Here at the end, for me, it's also easy to get to a head control. Aha, okay? That we can also do more now. That's more there, of course. What you want is the head at the same height. And this leg, be careful, get it out of there. That's it. Well, if the leg is there, then you will see it. Put the leg where it is. Well, there, of course. If the leg is there, I forget about the upper part and go to the leg, okay? Because that's what he's giving me, okay? Take that leg off of me. There's a head in the hole there. That, you see? You're pushing yourself, I'm pushing you, and you're using your weight a little bit on me. I open it, okay? It's important that when we go down, I put him on top of me, okay? I pushed you to create that little void that the chain gives you. Pass me the words and make me. An important detail for training, okay? To take care of colleagues. Yes, in the event that there is a trapped arm, okay? Training with teammates to take care of ourselves. And not that there are no injuries, always go to the opposite side of the arm that is caught, okay? So that you have a point to be able to remove the fall. And important, when they do the scissors and shoot me, okay? It's not, don't lock your elbow, okay? That you can take your elbow out. Here, the important thing is to stick your elbow to the ground. And when they throw me, hit, okay? Don't look for this, okay? Watch out for your arm, okay? They make me the scissors. I have an arm that I'm going to try to do on that side there, okay? Let's go on with details, shall we? We're going to make a rolled arm. I don't know if you've done a rolled arm. And Ponson nags the technique of putting the arm inside. When we are in control of the outer arm and we're looking for the first technique we have done, instead of going for a backstroke, okay? The pull, we're going to go get a pull when I don't notice where his arm is because he may be putting his hand in his pocket. I'm here. I don't write down my arm. I'm going to check the two quickly, okay? If my arm is in contact with my body, okay? He can be on my elbow or on my wrist. It would be the smartest thing to do, okay? Because the elbow, if he opens my elbow, sticks it towards his body, he will break the grip and the control he wants will arrive, okay? To get to a 50-50, okay? Or on my wrist, you can look for the same thing. Wrist, release, and get to control, okay? So when the arm is in contact with my body and I notice that I'm going to lose control, the thing is for me to hold it, okay? Strong, try to break, okay? Okay? I hold on until the last moment. Now, if I see that he is going to break the control and he's going to reach an arm inside, a shovel that is an advantage, I take advantage before this happens, okay? I walk backwards. I place my right leg in front. When he breaks, I search. The step is advanced, foot to foot, and okay? It's a step of, the nudo is used a lot, okay? Front foot, back foot is approaching, okay? The ballerina's foot and change, the hips, okay? No hip pivot there. Sorry, we are in control. He's looking for the arm to break. There, he manages to break. If he has the wrist, another detail. If he has the wrist, control, Here I have to break out, okay? Because that's where he has the hollow of his thumb. Here I'm not going to be able to break. Oh, crazy. I'm not going to be able to do it. I have to break. Okay? More slowly. I control. I stick my head out. Ale, if he is up, he does not want it to reach the ground. Well, look, my leg is already in place. And here, very important, the control of the arm. There is no tantrum at all, okay? Because he has his arm under my armpit, I don't let him take his arm out of there if I lose that control, okay? We cannot lose that control. If someone is looking for soil, what they're going to look for is to try to put the hooks in and control the back. I have to be on top of him. I put my arm under his legs, important underneath. I don't give him a crucifix, okay? I always touch the ground and turn to his legs. We repeat the last detail. Once we have reached the ground, that control is important. I activate my legs, arm, touch the ground, never between his legs, and now I give myself the
Vuelta on this side. I want to share something with you. Every time I travel to record a seminar, every time I sit in front of a teacher for an interview, I feel that I am witnessing something unrepeatable. Martial arts are not only techniques, they are experiences. They are years of discipline. They are stories that if they are not recorded, they are lost. Many of the masters, great masters that we have recorded, have dedicated their entire lives to their art. And my commitment is that their knowledge does not disappear over time. This channel does not only seek to show events, it seeks to preserve arrivals, document living history, create memory. But doing it well requires real commitment. Traveling to other countries, covering international events, investing in production, editing for hours so that every word has
the respect it deserves. None of this.
It would be possible without the respect it deserves. None of this would be possible without a community that believes in the project. That's why today I want to invite you to take it a step further. Being a member is not simply supporting a channel. It is supporting the preservation of martial arts. It is helping to make more documentaries possible. It is allowing more exclusive interviews to see the light. If you feel that this work has value, if any story has inspired you, if you think that this legacy deserves to be protected, I invite you to be part of this project. Thank you for being here. Thank you for walking this path with me.
Oh, stay there. Change the head. Stick it out and stick your shoulder with its shoulder. No, no, no. Look, don't try to put your head in there, okay? You simply shoulder to shoulder. Now when? Even you can force it to come out there. When he breaks the grip, I'm going to do it very slowly. Break me. Grab this. Doll. That. Well, look, here I stretch my arm. When he puts the control, you get inside, lower your hips, and you wrap yourself in it. You know, start from here if you want. Okay, so now I serve shoulder to shoulder. What is the purpose of, do I have to try to get you out? A little bit, that's it, okay? So now release. I pass it through here. When it comes to control, look at my footwork. I get inside, I take my shoulder out, and I take my hip out. The hip doesn't stay here, okay? Look at my ass as it comes out into the hole. There, okay? Now I'll try to get this arm out of there. Okay, now because it's very slow, then he can even lift me up. But if he does it quickly, he doesn't have time to get it out, okay? Switch your head sideways and stick shoulder to shoulder. Stick your head out the other side and shoulder to shoulder, that is. Now look, now this, she's gonna get this, okay? Now look, hey, how handsome the BMW tattoo is. Okay, and now from here, this front leg, and those who know, leave the top leg, and now look, hit the back. There, closer to the foot. And now bring the whole hip out over here. That more, put it in. He continues, that is, this hand above the color, that. And he is already on his knees to take care of it with the fall. Okay? It can even be done very slowly. Well, as soon as you take your arm out, the elbow, for example, you pull the elbow. Okay? That's what I make you look for. Now, I look with my hand here, what I do is I open a small hole to put the elbow, that is the shoulder, sorry, and I hit the back leg. And here I already wrap myself in it many times. Of course, we try a little how to make a trindero. It's more inward. Many times you get hole in. And here I even put my leg inside her. It's just that I change. It's enveloping yourself inside. Totally. That's it. That's it. Command. Yes, yes, yes. Very important that elbow control, okay? To control this, always have two hands above the elbow. Because if we get inside and don't control the elbow, it pulls hard upwards. However, when I get tangled up controlling the elbow, okay, try to pull the arm out. Another natural reaction that he has, okay? When I have a body profile controlled with the outer arm, it is to put a hand on the face, try to get the arm out, okay? With all his strength, it's a very natural instinct. And he sticks his arm up with all his might, okay? Put a block and take out the arm. That's why it's very important to always have the arm well controlled, even if he puts the block in my face and pushes everything hard, okay? And I have that control. Be careful. Self-defense. As soon as I feel the hand on my face, we have to go down now. Why? Because if he puts his hand in his face and is putting pressure, it's very easy for him to take advantage of that pressure to get his elbow out, okay? For example, if he's from there, see? Elbow in the face, okay? So, sporty, I can stay here as long as I want, okay? If I were to fight Judithus, we can stay there until we do something. If it happens to us in terms of self-defense, as far as the hand touches the face, I already have to control the elbow above the elbow bone, the triceps, change my level to enter the legs, okay? Because he's putting pressure on me. The moment I change my level and put the block above the elbow bone, it's going to create a little vacuum, okay? Okay? Here, Deportivo, I can stay here. For a while, nothing happens. He wants to take him out. He wants to take him out. I change my level. Okay? On a sporting level, we can nail the knee. We can make one between the leg, digging the knee. Or if it is very high, we don't need to nail it. Okay? With control. Of course, to lift, very important that my hip is down. Okay? Always two hands under the ass, floor very forward, hips glued together. We repeat. Control. He puts his hand on my face, located self-defense. Quickly. We don't stay there for a second. As soon as I feel the hand on my face, I'm already moving my back or legs. If it's someone much heavier, instead of going to the legs, from here, go up the back. Okay? If you have a profile under control, you can hit it from behind. Sporty? Because to make up for a while, whenever I want, I put block, important block here. If I do it here and it retracts the elbow, it has defense, okay? I have to lock his arm there. Back, straight. If you lift the partner to guard him to fall, the outside hand changes inside, and we bring him down carefully. As a ceiling. There, okay, change, and I control it.